Thank you for watching this video. We are looking at aligning security objectives, talking about cyber security objectives with company goals. So companies have goals and they also have cyber security objectives, meaning what do they want to achieve by putting cyber security in place. So how do you marry two of them? You have goals, you have company goals, you have security objectives. How do you ensure that both work together? Because in most cases, you are achieving one objective and defeating company goals, or you are achieving company goals and defeating your security objectives. So that is the purpose of this video. So let's crack on. Basically, what are security objectives? They are specific, measurable targets. In other words, what companies want to achieve by putting cyber security in place. And they require actions. They require implementation. They require through taking practical steps to ensure that you achieve those objectives, because companies even run without security, cyber security. You can do your accounting, you can do your HR without cyber security, but bringing security into your operation, there must be a purpose, there must be something you want to achieve. So we have what is called security objectives, and typical examples like we want to ensure that we secure our customer records. We ensure that our customers can trust us. They can continue to do business with us if we secure their records. That's an objective. And then also, we want to ensure that we have good network in place. That's an example of an objective. Ensure that our network perimeter is secure, that no attackers are able to penetrate our network and successfully launch an attack. That's an example of security objective. Or also you can say we want to improve incident response capabilities. We want to ensure that one of our objectives to ensure that when we have an attack, because it's possible for you to put all the security in place and still get attacked. Yes. So if we have a successful attack, we must make sure that we respond within a limited time. We will not be able to allow our operation to be grounded for too long. We should have immediate response plan. So we should have ability or to be able to respond to incidents as soon as they happen and recover immediately. So these are security objectives. So now let's look about company goals, which you and I know they are broad statements, of what company want to achieve. This is outside. This is different from security objectives. Companies are established to make profit. They're established to increase productivity, profitability, and stuff like that. That is company goal. For example, it's okay. We want to retain 95% of our customers. Yeah, and then want to expand market share. But for the next 2 years, we want to ensure that we enjoy reasonable market share, up to 25%, and also we also want to increase profitability. By next year or so thereabout, we want to increase our profitability from up to 150%. So these are company goals. They have nothing to do with security. Now, You have security objectives you want to achieve. You have company goals. So sometimes, like I said earlier, one, achieving objective, security objective can sometimes affect you achieving your company goals because you want to put security in place. How will they, how would the objective help you to achieve your goals that you have set for the company? They have to be aligned. So the question is that how do you align your security objectives with company goals? They have to align. They have to work together. Achieving one should not stop achieving the others. And then where your security goals is now making you not to achieve your company goals, and that means something is not right. So how do you align both of them? So let me give you a typical case study, which can also help you, for your interview. Now you want to secure your customer record. You want to ensure that because normally customers they create account, so to create account and then maybe shop online or do business with us. Let me assume you are in the gaming industry, for example. Let me assume that you are in the gaming industry, for example. Now you have betting. You have a lot of people that place bets. Before they can even do anything, the first thing you request is that they create account. And in creating account, they choose username, they choose password. Now, for you to ensure that that account they are going to create is secure, is safe, you come up with a password, complex password. Like, they say the longer the length and complexity of password, the safer the account becomes. And then here you go, you come up with a 16 character password. And then because you want to secure the account. Now, in ensuring you have a 60 minimum, or you can even say like 12, and has to be complex, minimum of the combination of letters, figures, special characters, and all that, and then you come up with 16 characters or even 12 characters. Now you find out that your customers, are getting frustrated because of the complexity of the password. Now you came up with that because you want to ensure that your customers' record are secure. But this your decision, to secure customers' record and their trust by coming up with a very complex password turns out to be frustrating your customers because they have to struggle with remembering 12 or 16 character password. So what now happens? You are achieving your security objectives here. Customer account are safe because it's not easy for attackers to guess 16 character password. But on the other hand, you are killing the company's goals of retaining your customers because when your customers get frustrated with your password policy, they're going to run to your competitors who probably, do not have the kind of policy you have. They have, a more simplified password that your customers can easily remember. So your customers will run away because they are tired of trying to log in. They say wrong password, try again, and the account is locked because of the complexity of your password. So you see, you are achieving your security objectives, but killing your company goals. So that is why we said how do you now align both? So let's proceed and talk about the steps you can adopt to be able to align both. Now, first of all, you need to understand your company goals, which we mentioned earlier. Understand your company goals, fine. Then here, talking about security now, in trying to align both of them, the security men should be able to understand what the company goals are. That is why it's good to communicate. And then what happens next is to, when you have your company goals, and then you have to define your objectives. Yeah, you have security objective, which we have already mentioned before: secure your customers' record, enhance network security. Fine, you have your security objective. And then you already defined it, you have not started implementing them. Remember, for you to implement them, you have to, come up with a plan. Develop a plan on how you want to implement these security objectives and how you can align them with company goals. First of all, the first thing you have in mind is that there must be a balance in implementing your security objectives. Because you are going to, you're going to, it's going to involve you, getting tools, getting people, experts to do the configuration, to, implement the password we talked about. You're going to get, the engineers to configure the password and all that. But having in mind that how do you get to balance, how do you strike a balance between securing your customer's record and achieving company goals? That's what should be uppermost in your mind. And then now you understand that a complex password might drive away your customers. So what do? You need to come up with a plan to balance both sides. While you keep your customer records secure, you also have customers retained. They're not frustrated. And then you come up with the fact is that I am going to, rather than having 12-character password, I can make my password simpler, maybe like 8 characters, not simple that can be guessed. It still be a combination of capital letter and all that, make it a little complex, but not long. So rather than having, a very long password, you can have, keep it simple, then add another layer of security. Now, rather than having 16 characters, I can say, okay, let me have 8 characters and then add a multi-factor authentication. So keep the password simple and then add an extra layer, which is MFA, where the customer can sign, but you need to authenticate the customer. You need to authenticate them by sending a code to their phone or to their email. And then, so that is another. But then, before then, you have to do a risk assessment. If we make it simple, what are the risks? You have to do a risk assessment, and then if we pit complex, what are the risks? If we make it too simple or too easy, what are the risks? So based on your risk assessment, you now decide, the complexity of the password. It could be simple, but not too simple, but not too complex. So you have to come to a midpoint and then add a multi-factor authentication, extra layer. I think that will make your customers happy. They don't have to struggle, to guess, to contend with, lengthy passwords or complex passwords. So what you are trying to do is to achieve a balance. And then what will you do next? While you implement that, it's working, you keep monitoring. And then you monitor and measure the progress by using like key performance indicators or using metrics. So now you have a company goal of securing your customers, retaining your customers, security objective of customers, securing your customers' record. What are you going to measure? You're going to measure how have this plan you have implemented, striking a balance between the company goals and security objective. How is it working? Now, are you being protected by taking this decision to make your client happy? Are you being protected? How do you measure that? Look at number of incidents. What is the frequency of your customers as you what is the history now? Has your have your customers account be hacked into? Have the bad guy be able to break into your customers account? How often has did it happen? If ever it happened, and then you look at so the metrics you're going to look at what has been your customer retention percentage of retention. Are there customers that are leaving because of your security objectives, or are your customers being retained while you are being protected? Are your customers being retained? So you measure it with incidents. Also not only just in API, you get feedback from employees, feedback from your customers, to ensure that they are happy with your password security, and also they are happy that they are not having issues logging in and things like that. So you measure your performance. Are you meeting your security objectives? Yes, because we are not getting attacks, we're not getting successful attacks. Then are you meeting your company's goals? Yes, your clients are not living, they're not frustrated because of our password complexity. And so you have to communicate. Whatever plan, whatever plan you have, probably this one would have even come before monitoring. You communicate your plan, educate your client, not only your staff, you educate both your staff and your customers by continuously sending updates, sending email, telling them, the changes you are bringing. This is why you are bringing those changes. It is because of their protection. Because you give them instances of where how attackers now operate, how they're operating. So for this reason, we're introducing this change to protect you, to protect your record. We know it's going to be a little bit like a little bit complex, but then it is for the purpose of protecting you, to ensure that you are safe. So you are educating and communicating regularly. Any changes you are making, any observation, any communicate, any feedback you are getting, you are communicating. Also communicating to your both internally and externally to your clients, customers, and also to your staff. Members of your staff should be able to know what is happening, what we are doing. Communicate both internally and externally. And then you need to carry out review, you assess, it can be quarterly review, based on what your current threat landscape is, and then what are your changes in regulation. For example, you might come up with this plan, but the bad guys be able to, overcome or bypass this plan. What are you going to do? Remember, you still want to retain your customers, and still want to keep secure, but something has changed. The bad guys have now been able to bypass your security. It's no longer working. So what are you going to do? So you have to review and make adjustments. And maybe or possibly your regulators have come up with something different. They now want you to do a more complex password, no longer the eight characters. So what are you going to do? How are you going to align, balance between satisfying your regulators, keeping safe, and be able to keep, or keep pace with the bad guys, and be able to also satisfy. So it requires, that is why we require continuous monitoring, continuous measurement, and continuous review, and then make adjustments, adjust your tactics, adjust your strategies to ensure that all parties, all parties are satisfied. Where it's not possible to satisfy everybody, for example, your customers are paramount. Yeah, so if it's beyond you, you have to have a way of communicating and then coming up with alternatives, planning, brainstorming, researching, and also looking at what are your competitors doing. But you also be mindful of what your competitors are doing. So basically, yeah, that's just about a summary of it. Or don't forget, before we proceed, let me just quickly next few seconds. What we do full GRC training. We do one-on-one mentoring. We prepare you for interview. If you are struggling to whether to get interviews or to pass interview, we have the answers. We can help you with your resume. Possibly you don't have job experience and that is why you are not getting job or interview. We can help you with job experience and all that. So contact us today, and we have everything that you need. Okay, that's all. Well, don't forget to subscribe, and then yeah, join if you want to join our membership list. You get all the benefits, fine, but don't forget to subscribe, and see you in our next video.